What's up? My name is Grosby G.T. Thomas. I come from the Delta, Cleveland, Mississippi, the land of rich art, deep culture, and buried wounds. I've been putting in the work, building a community event called Never Die, trying to stand for truth, for Black creativity, for purpose. But right now, I'm looking at empty promises. Doors that should have been open but staying locked. Institutions that say they support you but don't show up when it counts. And I'm asking, why? This video is my story, and it reflects something much bigger. It's a story about what it means to be a Black artist in Mississippi when the system isn't designed for your rise.
And if a white woman walked down our same sidewalk, we would have to walk out in the street.
To understand my story, you have to understand the ground we're on. Mississippi has a long, painful history of institutional racism. For example, our public education system in the Delta area still shows huge inequities. In a key report, only around 47% of Black adults in Mississippi had a high school diploma at one time, far below their white counterparts. In the arts and culture sectors, there's this gap between who controls things and who's served. One piece of reporting shows most staff and boards of arts organizations in Mississippi are white, even though a large portion of the population is Black. The Mississippi Delta faces significant challenges, including high poverty rates, unemployment, low educational and low life expectancy. Factors contributing to these issues are economic decline due to mechanization and globalization, a lack of access due to resources like quality education and healthy food, and a history of racial inequality. These problems are often more severe in the region's rural areas, like my hometown, Shaw. Most towns and neighborhoods are still segregated, and you won't see a melting pot unless it's around voting time. Then there are historic moments like the founding of the Free Southern Theater in 1963 at Tougaloo College, a bold Black art movement rooted in protest and truth-telling. And yet, decades later, Black artists still face invisible walls, underfunding, sidelining, lack of access to decision-making, lack of systemic support. The point, this isn't just about me getting a key or a venue. It's about being a part of a lineage of creators fighting to be seen, heard, funded, supported, where the system often says you might exist, but you won't lead. Here's where my story intersects. I put my time in, volunteered for 2 shows with the local arts alliance, spent countless hours rehearsing, showing up. I believed in it. They promised support for the upcoming hip-hop musical I presented and anything else that may presume to come up. Ironically, or unironically, the character I played in one of these plays, Fame Jr., was Tyrone, who was the stereotypical Black kid who couldn't read to a majority white crowd. I turned this into a positive with an original song I was able to perform.
My name is Tyrone, I'm a dancer, and that means I'm a sword. And even though I can't read books, I mean more words, I'm a poet. I try to write down, book or wrong, let me know it. So ain't no reason for the book and pen when my mouth is fluid. I'm just like Carmen, I just really want some pieces of fame. Speaking the same, crowds is like the bleachers and games. With all the agents, all the pages, know they need to be promo. And then I'm up in Hollywood, chilling with slow-mo. The photos in LA, don't care about no LA. Single Mabel over there just talking about real lady. I'm kidding, I try to put down, but will the people do that for me when I'm trying to rap?
But the message remains the same. Will the people do that for me when I'm trying to rap? Another example is when I went to the Mississippi Grammy Museum, the only other Grammy museum in the country, largely because we are the home of music right here in Mississippi. At the museum, They had a songwriters festival for all Mississippi artists, but when I got there, there was only folklore and country artists. Me and my girl were the only other two black people in attendance. There was a black guy on the bar and two working the food truck, and this is the birthplace of the blues. Now, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed myself because I am a lover of music, but it still felt off. Either because we don't feel comfortable as a collective, we're not being invited, or we don't see enough of our own. Then, the incident at Delta State University happened, where Trey Reed, a 21-year-old black male, was found hanging, lynched from a tree right outside of their campus. This ignited me because I don't stay too far from DSU. 2, he's around my age. 3, this is something historical that legends like Sam Cooke mentioned in the 60s, yet we're fighting long before and are still fighting in 2025. My intent with the Never Die event was to create a free space for artists, content creators, poets, and advocates in Mississippi to express how they feel about it, and regardless of what actually happened, show how the spirit never dies, with some of our ancestors as examples. This sounds perfect for the Delta Arts Alliance, right? It'll show not only that they stand with us, but also have a desire to make the crowd and community more diverse, right? The Delta Arts Alliance never let me know if my event even got approved. This felt like a slap in the face because you clearly don't mind profiting off of our art and our stories, but when it's time to stand up for what's right during that moment, you fold. But then they also voluntarily handed me over to the only black member on board, who has his own personal space or venue. I'm left standing, wondering why, if I'm showing up fully, doing the work, holding the vision, where's the support? It makes me question everything. Why did I trust? Why did I give? What am I missing? This ain't just a personal letdown. When you build from the ground, when you create your reality, you also need your community and your structures to show up. And when they don't, it's spiritual, business, and emotional letdown all wrapped up into one. What I'm facing isn't isolated. When institutions say they support black culture, but then freeze out the black voice when it demands lead roles or power, that's institutional racism doing its subtle work. When someone on the board is the only black person, yet still acts like a gatekeeper in certain ways instead of an ally, that shows you the systemic cost of being in spaces that's not built for your elevation. Mississippi institutions have historically silenced dissent, minimized black narratives, set up structures where promises are given, but power isn't transferred. So when I say I feel unsupported, I'm not blaming individuals alone. I'm naming a system, and I'm turning the lens on it. This takes a toll. You operate in faith, you manifest, you build, you trust, and you get hurt mentally, spiritually, financially. I was actually so angry. I said I wasn't going to get animated on this video because I wanted everyone to hear me clearly, but you guys should have heard me. Everybody was an MFer. But here's something I've learned. My role is to see hidden truths, to rebuild from the underground, to become the very structure I seek. I am a hip-hop artist, advocate, actor, organizer, engineer, director, and now YouTube essayer, all wrapped into one. I'm learning if the system won't hand me the key, I become the key. If the venue won't open the door, I build my own house. My calling isn't only to perform. It's to create space for those who look like me, who carry our story, who demand more than being a token. I'm not just fighting for a show on Friday. I'm building a legacy. Here's what needs to change and what I'm asking of you. Yes, all of you. Even you not from Mississippi, yes. Number 1, accountability. Spaces, boards, venues must show up. Promises are meaningless without follow through. 2, power transfer. It's not enough to include us. We must lead. We must own. We must craft our narratives. 3, authentic support. If you say you support Black art, then fund it, promote it, give us keys, access, and voice. 4, community radicalism. Artists support other artists. Creators build for other creators. We need to stop waiting for permission. So here's my ask. If you're in the Delta, Mississippi, South, hell, the world, join me. Show up, invest, amplify. If you're a venue owner, a board member, an arts leader, ask yourself, who am I really serving? Whose voice am I elevating? This movement is bigger than my event. It's about reshaping culture. It's about rewriting rules. I'm still showing up. My event may shift. The key may change hands. The venue may change. But one thing remains. The spirit never dies. I'm Grisby Thomas, the embodiment of GT and iConscious. I'm reclaiming space, rewriting authority, and elevating purpose. Thank you for listening. And if this resonates, you may also like this tribute to Mississippi and Delta legends that I'm leaving at the end of this video. But other than that, like, comment, share. Let's build this together because the story of Mississippi and world arts is ours to define.
I'm yelling R.I.P. to all my legends. I'm yelling R.I.P. to all my legends. I'm yelling R.I.P. to all my legends. We rise in power, yeah, we rise in power. I don't mean to be here long, don't mean to delegate, but I got some shit up on my shoulder, it got heavy weight. When it come to celebrating, usually come with Debbie cakes, but my vibe ain't about crunching no stars, it's about shedding weight. Robert Lee, a legend, born in 1911, had problems with all the reverence before he even turned like 7, and it was because of blue shit. Had a voice but didn't wanna represent no pulpit. Dream was gone real lucid. Bandit Lou Hamer was sick and tired of being sick and tired, and still they tried to tame her. Didn't even lift a finger, but approached her with a banger. Offer neutrality, the next legend Dexter Wade, another type brutality. Hit him on the freeway, then turn the music up like this a game, but not on EA. Wish the story went like they had found a man in 3 days. They found him months later. Police had more than hand in it. I'd even seen Crusader, Mr. Skinny, aka he's 754. Went from Venturas across the country just to let people know that Mississippi got the greatest artists. And you know our cadence hardest. Wasn't supposed to make it past 3, but he made his largest. Trey Reed and Matthew Grant. Sam Cooke said change gonna come. That's a seed at plant. No matter poet or you feeling rapping content or you really trapping, lock with me November 7th. Man, that's where it really happens.